What an episode of Lovecraft Country. I very much enjoyed this episode. Even though it detoured away from what's mainly going on, it really gave us a great backstory on Tick. What's going on, guys? My name is Leo Rydell, and this is Geekly Goods, where we talk the latest in movies, TV shows with a sprinkle of anime and gaming. We also cover food, reactions, rankings. Guys, come back for more content by hitting that subscribe button, and let's talk about Lovecraft Country, Episode 6. Man, just like I was saying, this is a backstory episode. We focus on the 1950s during the Korean War, and we get Tick's backstory with a new character we're introduced to that's played by Jamie Chung, and her name is Gia. Now, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, but Pert Minded over on YouTube actually said this is very much like the Naruto Nine-Tailed Fox. Couldn't agree more. There is this crazy spirit living within Gia that is kind of like the Nine-Tailed Fox from Naruto, but it very much takes inspiration from Japanese horror movies, and this episode feels like a blend of that and Japanese romance films, and I love the pacing of this episode. We get to learn Tick's activities in the Korean War, and we get some backstory on his character, and while this is quite the detour from Letty and Tick and Montrose, this is a cool little peek into what happened to Tick before he got to where he is now. Gia is a nurse, and at home, she seems to be infected with this creature. I mean, it seems to me like her mom was telling her about this creature and that maybe the creature was taking over other people's memories and wasn't quite her daughter. I had a little bit of confusion there. You guys let me know down in the comments, but I really just like this episode for the fact that it did detour, but we still got a really good amount of backstory from Tick. You know, this is his first love. He loses his virginity to her. We see that he really loves her, and, things kind of get a little bit crazy in the end of the episode. I don't want to spoil, but there is a revelation that we learn about Tick at the end of this episode, and it's a huge drop. Lovecraft Country is really good with that. I mean, it's great to see Jamie Chung back, by the way. She was in Dragon Ball Evolution, but we're going to skip over that. She's also been in The Hangover 2. She's also been in Sucker Punch, Big Hero 6. So, Jamie Chung, great actress. And actually, there was a male Asian actor at the beginning of this episode, and I recognize him from something as well. But this episode, wow, just some crazy things that happen. We learn that activities in the Korean War were obviously pretty bad. There's a scene in this episode that kind of puts Tick in a bad light, but I love this era where we are in 1950s with the Korean War. It's not really explored that much in the show, so I was glad that we got a little piece of that, or a big piece of that, in this episode, and I just really, really like this episode, the whole deceiving things that are going on with Jamie Chung's character. I want to know more about that beast that lives within her. She has sex with people, and when she does, these weird tentacle things come out, and they almost kill people, or they kill people, and it seems like they can also see their memories and their futures, and they can absorb different things from their mind. It's bizarre. Look, this is bizarre, and for some, I think this will be such a derail that maybe they won't like it, but I love how self-contained some of these episodes are, and I really liked how self-contained this one was. You could definitely feel the Jordan Peele influence with some of those shots, some splattering blood on the Jamie Chung's character. There's just some really creative choices here, and I gotta say, I really liked this episode, and I like that we were in Korea. We got a different setting, we got some cool shots of snow, and we got some cool scenes with snow, and some cool production locations. I really like this episode, but like I said, for some, I'm thinking this is not gonna quite be the episode they wanted, because like I said, it's quite a detour, and at the beginning of the episode, I was kind of like, okay, where are we going here? Because this is so different than the story that we've been following this whole time. I'm used to our trio of Letty, Tick, and Montrose, and the last episode even was about Ruby, so it's all right, what's going on here? Well, this episode focuses specifically on Tick's backstory, so I like that every single episode kind of takes focus on one character, and this was very Tick focused. Him and Jamie Chung's character come together a lot, and they, form a romance, and things happen between those characters that lead to more mystery in the show, which I expressed on the Talkin' TV YouTube channel that I kind of am a little bit sick of the questions, but we get a bit of a prediction here, or not really a prediction, but we get an answer, a huge ambiguous answer here that raises more questions, and part of me is starting to see that Lovecraft Country is that kind of show. It's going to come with questions every single week, so I know what to expect. They're going to raise the bar in terms of how confused we are, and this is just raising the bar to the next level. Like, what are we going to get and when? So I'm really excited to dive into more Lovecraft Country after this episode. I really want to know what's going to happen with Tick and what's going to happen with this new character. We do see an interaction between the two of them in the beginning with a bit of a hint to what happens at the end of the episode. So I'm definitely curious to see where this is going, because this is getting incredibly exciting. This derail was one that didn't feel extremely jarring to me because it focused on Tick's character, and these episodes seem to be very character focused. Episode 3 was very Letty focused. Episode 5 was very Ruby focused. We have these episodes that focus on a character, and it's cool to get Tick's backstory, and I would like one that explored a little bit of Letty's, because in episode 3 we had all these different kind of references between, and these conversations between Ruby and Letty about their mother. So I want to know a little bit more about that and what happened with the mother. I would love to see some more backstory on the other characters, and I liked this episode. It almost felt like a mini movie, just because of how divided it is between the other episodes, but I really enjoyed it. You guys let me know, though, down in the comments. What did you think of this episode? Did it drift too far away from the plot for you, or were you a fan of getting a little bit of backstory on Tick and getting a little more mystery into the whole story? Guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like this content, and we will see you next time.